Okay, yes, yes.
Okay, so now I have to sum up Unit 2. That's Unit 4, sorry. Currently approaches and method. So in this unit, we will focus on 9 contents. The first one, we also focus on communicative language teaching. And number 2, we focus on CBI and CLIL. And number 3, we focus on whole language. And number 4, we focus on competency-based language teaching standard and the common European framework of reference. And number 5, we focus on task-based language teaching. Number 6, we focus on text-based instruction. Number 7, we focus on lexical approach. Number 8, we focus on multiple intelligences. And the last one, cooperative language learning. Okay? And this is also the learning objective that you expect to get from this Unit 4. So the first one, you also identify and describe the contemporary approaches and a method in a specific field. And number 2, you also analyze the effectiveness and limitation of current methods compared to traditional approaches. And number 3, you also apply the current approaches to the real world problem or case study or demonstrative practical understanding. And number 4, you also enhance your skill in cooperative with peers to discuss and refine the current current method and approaches. And the last one, you also encourage your innovative thinking by exploring how the current method can be adapted or improved. So these are your expectation from this Unit 4. So now go to the number 1 that we gonna to talk about, communicative language teaching. When we talk about communicative, we have to interact between two people, start from two people. Sometimes they have to share, sometimes they have to exchange their ideas in any context or situation. And so my first question is that what is communicative language teaching, or we can call in the abbreviation letter CLT. So can you share for this? Say mom first. Hello, say mom. Yeah. What is or what does it mean, the word communicative language teaching?
Communicating language teaching. Please wait with you. Communicate.
Yeah.
Communicate language teaching. That is the communicate language teaching. It is refer to the communicate approaching with entire teaching language through the communication.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all, mom.
Yeah, that's all.
Okay. So don't waste our time. So when we talk about communicative language teaching, we refer to the communicative approach, which integrate teaching language through communication. So it means that whenever you teach any languages, you have to get the learner to make the communication in the real class. Sometimes you can assign them to work in peer, to work in groups, or sometimes group discussion. So whenever you assign your student or the learner to do this activity, so the student can use any language through the communication as well. Sometimes you can use your overall question to them by asking them directly, so they can get the learner to make the communication as well. Okay. Or we can say the other definition, communicative language teaching is an approach to language education that emphasizes interaction as the primary means of language teaching. As I said, you can assign your student or the learner in any activities in the real class. The purpose that you assign your student to do any activity in the real class, you want your student or learner to make or to interact any activity by using language communication. Okay? And next point, my question is that how many forms of communication? Anyone? Can you answer my question? Chidi?
3,
Okay,
teacher.
yes, okay, please.
3, teacher.
3, what are they?
Verbal, non-verbal, and graphic.
Okay, very good. So there are 3 kinds of 3 classify of the communication. So the first one, verbal communication. When we talk about verbal communication, we refer you are speaking, you are writing. Whenever you speak, whenever you write, you use any word, you use any phrase or expression to your partner or the people around you. And number 2, non-verbal. When we talk about non-verbal, we refer to you use your body language. Okay? Sometimes you don't know, sometimes you don't speak, sometimes you don't write, but you have to show your body language. So, for example, if you raise your finger to form the heart, so what is the meaning of this body language? It means love, right? Hello?
Yes.
If you raise your thumb, it means that you like somebody, right? But you don't speak or you don't write. You just show only your body language. And number 3, this is the graphic. What is graphic? Graphic, it is not like the body language. Graphic, you have used any sign. Like you have to try your motor or your car along the road, you can use any sign. Turn left, turn right, or the sign is for the stop, or the sign is for be careful. So when you see the sign, so you know the meaning of the word graphic. You get the point? So totally graphic we refer to any signal that make the learner understand the meaning from the sign or the signals. Okay, you get it? So these are the 3 forms of communication. So next point, the question is that what are core principles of CLT? What are core principles of CLT? Anyone know about this?
Teacher, I checked it has 5, but I didn't
Okay,
remember.
5. Yeah. So 5, the first one, we focus on communication. Mean when we focus on communication, we enable learner to communicate effectively and influence in any activity in his or her life. So whenever we just make communication, we can push, we can foster learner to make their communication effectively with their partners or the people around them. Okay, so this is the first one for the CLT. So number 2, authentic language use. So whenever we get learners to use CLT, we also foster authentic language use for them in order to emphasize the real context or make the learner relevant to engage together in the group. Okay, so this is the second core principle of CLT. And number 3, learner centers, or sometimes we call student center. So what does student center mean? Student center mean we have to get students to work more than the teacher or the instructors in the real class. They have to assign the student to work more, to do any exercise more activity than the teacher in the real class. Or sometimes we can get students to do any projects or any activity that can suitable to the lesson as well. Okay, so this is the three core principle of CLT. And number 4, social interaction. Yes, whenever we focus on communicative language teaching, it also fosters with the social interaction. For example, like you assign your student to work in group, to pair work, or any form of cooperative learning in order to enhance his or her communication competency in the social interaction as well. For example, you can assign your student to work in group as to interview all the other people or all the other students outside the school compound. So whenever you assign like this, the student will follow what your instruction or guide them to do any activity outside the school compound. Okay. And number 5 is the last point of CLT. So functional language. When we talk about functional language, we focus on the way or the process what the teacher taught in the term of the function, like requesting, like apologizing, simple expression. It means that rather than we focus on the grammar rule or vocabulary list. Functional language is it means that we refer to the way what you teach the simple word, simple expression to the student, rather than give the grammar rule or the vocabulary with the technical word or terminology to the student. Mean, for example, sometimes you can ask them with the functional language like, hello or good morning everyone, good afternoon, how are you, what's your name, do you take your breakfast yet? So very simple expression that you can use with your student. So when you use like this, so the student feel like that they very comfortable from the teacher. Sometimes they think that the teacher take care them so much or very much for for this expression, and the teacher can make a good communication or interaction between the teacher and the student as well. Okay, so these are the functional language. Okay, any question before we move to the second part of this unit 4? Any question?
No question, teacher.
Okay, so if no question, so now we move to number 2 that we focus on CBI and CLIL. My question is that what is CBI? Content-based instruction. So when we talk about content-based instruction, we focus on any approach to second language teaching in which teaching is organized around the content. Content here, we do not focus on the meaning, we focus on the course or the subject matters that student will require, sometimes related to the subjects of history, social study, English, math, physics, or textual, and so on. So when we talk about content-based instruction, we refer to any contents or the subject matters that they can use to the second language teaching in order to organize for the student, rather than around the linguistic or the others, the other types. For example, you choose your specialized area, you are choosing about textual. So textual, this is the one course that you choose for your master degree. So when you choose the textual, this is the content-based instruction. You get it what I mean? Because this is the course, your specialized area. After you complete this one, you know how to teach the English by using many method or approach or the technique how to transfer your English lesson or English knowledge to your student. You get it? What I mean?
Yeah, teacher, yeah.
Yeah. So these are This example, this is the CBI, content-based instruction. You get it? For example, I choose English here. English is my subject. Sorry. English is my subjects. Okay? English is my subject. This is we call CBI because we refer only the subjects. But when we talk about CLIL, we focus on your selection of any content or use language clearly in order to make your student understand or discuss the content. For example, I choose English subject. English subject is the CBI. But inside the English, we have 4 macro skills. Reading, writing, listening, speaking, as well as grammar and vocabulary. Is it correct? Everyone? Hello? Can you hear me or
Yes,
not?
teacher.
Yeah. So, if I prefer to teach my student grammar, this is what I select, the content from the English subject. English grammar. So, I have to teach them English grammar about past simple. So, after I complete this one, the student can understand what I select the content from the English subject to teach the student. Then the student can they can use the past simple in the past time activity. They can give any example. They can do exercise. So when the student get like this is we call content and language integrated learning. CLIL. You got my point? So that's why the previous question I asked you about what are different between CBI and CLIL. To say mom. You got the point? Don't be confused with this one. Eh? This one we focus on the content or we refer to course or the subject matters. But this one we focus on you are selecting any content from any subjects and then you have to teach your student. Don't be confused with both. You got the point or not?
Teacher, regarding this one, you select content and as well as the language, right? It's there for the CLIL.
CLIL mean I select any
Yeah,
content. For
content and
example,
use
for this one,
language
I
clearly.
just select subject, English subject, right?
Yes.
So inside English subject, we have 4 macro skill, we have vocab, we have grammar, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So when you select any content for your teaching performance, this is we call CLIL. For example, I choose subject English. This is CBI. When I choose the subject English. But inside the subject English, there are so many components inside. Like I choose English grammar to teach you about past simple. You get it? So this is what I select the content. Content of past simple. So when I teach, you can make the form, you can give me the example, you can do exercise, you can speak as well. So when you do like this, or when you in a ball like this, so this is because CLIL. You get it? What I mean?
Okay, teacher.
Is it clear? Okay.
Kind of.
Okay. ខ្មែរเราវិធីសាស្ត្រខ្មែរអញ្ចឹងកាលណាយើងនិយាយទៅដល់ CBI គឺសំដៅទៅលើមុខវិជ្ជាឬក៏ជាខអញ្ចឹងណាជាខអានោះគឺសំដៅទៅលើអាហ្នឹងដូចជាមុខវិជ្ជាប្រវត្តិវិទ្យាអក្សរសាស្ត្រខ្មែរមិនអញ្ចឹងហ៎ភាសាអង់គ្លេសគណិតវិទ្យាអាហ្នឹងគឺសំដៅទៅលើមុខវិជ្ជាបញ្ហាមុខវិជ្ជាដែលយើងយកមកបង្រៀនសិស្សប៉ុន្តែនៅក្នុងមុខវិជ្ជានីមួយៗគេមិនមានទៅលើខ្លឹមសារមកវាដូចជាស្ដេចខ្ញុំលើកភាសាអង់គ្លេសមួយចុះនៅក្នុងភាសាអង់គ្លេសมันយើងមានអីគេអា four macro skill របស់វាមែនទេ reading writing speaking listening មិនអញ្ចឹងហ៎អញ្ចឹងអត់ហើយមាន grammar មាន vocab មិនអញ្ចឹងហ៎ bà chắc những an toàn dễ đòn này bà dương con là chưa đưa một chia anh nó cái CBI content based instruction rồi bà đấy chắc concept bây giờ bà đấy một chia đại dương thấu chưa đưa một bằng riêng một chia ấy đó nhưng chưa đưa một riêng một chia phía xa ăn lề chắc đâu không một chia phía xa ăn lề nữa dương mình miền ấy kì reading writing speaking listening grammar như tao vocabulary như tao chắc là khi chặt đám chưa đưa vô một chia phía xa ăn lề nếu không một chia sang lên nước giống chưa đưa do content muối khăm xa muối cứ khăm xa từ lâu vậy gì co mình chắc ấy thấy bà chắc anh em vô vậy co mó hay vậy có biên sở nó không sang lên mẹ đấy còn nếu nhung bây giờ ta vậy có simple vô bằng riêng thế thế nhé dư trong vô tí hỏi xây của bạn này present simple present continuous progressive ấy nhưng mấy sai từ dương này nó nhung chưa đưa vô simple nghỉ chứ nhóm bằng riêng thì form mà vi nhóm bằng riêng thì pra nhóm oi ở ti ho nhóm oi lùm hạt thường chắc anh sơ vật thư bán cho lại top tôi chỉ mua là content để dương bằng riêng mà con nó chân cái này nó cái ad how thay chia CBI t cái nhà CLIL giờ bà đấy miền này ta viết chiaประเภท mua này content để dương chơi được tranh pi ở một chia thốn á giờ bà đấy
แต่ năng pi nó mình thời chụp kia thời
yes việc thâu tại link kia bằng khoa nào mua dương chơi được content tệ tông là sạp chị ở mua tiết dương được content tranh pi sạp chị
ở đây họ thành trẻ nhóm bari là social study ở đây ha rồi một buổi chiều social study từ tại cái social study nó về miền thầm đá về đấy dân riêng về tay để dân khơi grammar ấy chẳng tới dân mình dân ai choose grammar vì không một buổi chiều social study nó kiểu bari là vì nó cho
biết thâu tại link kia chẳng ấy biết thâu tại link kia miền nào link biết thâu tại link kia sau khi social study nhưng mà sắc xa nó là CBI rồi sau khi chưa đưa ấy cái một chia đưa course mình chẳng áp sau khi
chà
bạn đã đọc bên sau khi em riêng về có anh đang viết cho lấy cái CLIL về nhỉ bởi vì chỉ phần này mỗi bên là CLI về chỉ phần này mỗi để thật đâu nó CBI
tức là cái hàng là integrated
yes for integrated mình làរួមmình cho cái này để content hay là language bảo dưỡng tàu chụp nè chừng rồi đó
chà vô cho bạn được
cho nạp xe
đấy là cô xong thích hàn châuอยู่
Rồi bóng trôi rồi bóng wake up ơi
ba đặt mà một màu đó lúc nhom chắc là của ô tô hòn chạy môi ô tô ta nhóm chưa giờ bây giờ có một bài điển
yes
và chẳng bây giờ có gì CBL chẳng bà CBL chẳng nơi pe để trong bài điển đôi chừng present đó là CBI chẳng bao nhiêu bài điển đôi chừng present simple present continuous anh đang tới chia CLIL vinh chẳng là
yes CLIL vinh miền này thà CLI vì chỉ phần này mỗi để thật đâu không CBI nữa này
bà chẳng nó lại ok là tôi giờ lại
rồi bà năng này chẳng chừng giờ đấy nó khó khăn lại năng yes
bà tôi giờ
miền này thiệt đấy not show my whole language number 3 so when we talk about whole language we refer to the second language teaching can integrate the four skills of the language: reading, speaking, writing, and listening. When we talk about whole language, so in the whole language as well, it is established in 1980s by a group of U.S. educators concerned with the language of what is referred to as the language arts. And the teaching of reading and writing are the first language learner. So in that time during 18, so reading and writing were the first language for the learner in order to conduct for the whole language during that time. When we talk about the whole language, we refer to the 5 components. So the first one we focus on phonology. When we focus on phonology, we focus on the sound, whatever you speak to your partner or the other learner. And second, we focus on morphology. When we talk about morphology, we focus on the meaning of any verse or any expression, what we use in the sentence. And number 3, we focus on syntax. When we focus on syntax, we also refer to grammar, like sentence structure, clause, or how we form the sentence, subject, verb, agreement, object, and so on. And next, we focus on, number 4, we focus on semantics. When we talk about semantics, we focus on the language, what we use any context. You will see the example, the six example from here. And the last one, we focus on, I think who? Who turned on the mic? Okay.
Tell them Libyan.
Again, so when we talk about pragmatics, we focus on the social dynamic of language, like form or content and use. So look at the example. This is the whole language what we quote to explain or to explore in this unit 4. So look at the first example. He goes to school. So when we talk about he goes to school, so what can you see in this sentence? It has to make subject plus verb and ... right? And you also look through this one, the word go. Go, whenever we just use with the third person singular, he, she, it, we have to add es, because the word go, we end with letter O. So all those verbs that use with third person singular, he, she, it, or name of the person, we have to use or to add with es. So when we analyze the sentence like this, this is the whole language of syntax. You get it? What I mean? You get it?
Yeah, teacher.
Yeah. Number 2, they do homework. Can you say that they make homework? Can you say that they create homework? Can we say like that or not?
Cannot, teacher, cannot.
Yeah, cannot. This is the collocation of the word. For the homework, whenever you want to do homework, you can use only the word do. Okay? So when we focus on collocation, so what's kind of the components of the whole language? Morphology. You get it? And next point also, you have eat, take breakfast. Okay, these 3 verbs that we can use with the word breakfast. This is also the collocation. Or number 4 and number 5. I'm sitting in the bank near the river. And next point, I'm sitting on the bank of the river. So when we use the word bank with different contexts like this, so what can we call? What can we call?
Pragmatic, teacher.
Fragmatics or semantics? When we talk about pragmatic, we focus only form and content and use. And semantics?
Meaning teacher.
Meaning in language.
I think semantic, yeah.
Yeah, semantic is the best.
Semantic, yeah.
Yeah, because we use the word bank the same spelling and the same word, but we use different context. So this is we focus on the meaning of the language. You get it? But when we focus on the form, this is the present progressive form. This is fragmatics. You get it? Okay? Yeah. And one more thing. I saw an anchor or anchor.
Anchor.
Yes, anchor, right? Not
Yeah,
anchor.
I remember that's word.
Yeah. So when we pronounce like this, we focus on phonology.
Speaks.
You get it?
Yeah.
Phonology. Okay. You got the point? So these are the components of the whole language. When we focus on the whole language, we focus on these 5 components. You get it what I mean?
Yeah, very clear, teacher.
Okay, go to number 4. We focus on CBLT. So the meaning of CBLT, we refer to the approach that focuses on the outcomes or the competency learner are expected to achieve, to get, to receive. Okay. So CBLT, we can also focus on the student learning outcome. Whenever you teach them any content, whether the student can get or not. Okay. And this competency includes functional language use, real world tasks, specific skill required to perform successfully in a given context. So whenever you want to assess your learner ability or competency, you also can include any functional language use. You can assign any exercise or any skill. Sometimes you can use your overall question to them. Whenever the student can answer your question, so you can estimate that your student will get your content what you transfer to them. Okay. And these are the some keys of CBLT. So when we focus on CBLT, the first one is we focus on specific competency. So when we talk about specific competency, we refer to the language, what you can give to them. For example, if you teach them about the writing in email, so after you complete your content in the end of your lesson today, so the student can use the writing to write about formal email or not. Okay, if you use or you teach them about communication skill, so after you complete this one, the student can make a presentation effectively or not. So if they can, so mean the student will use their competency or ability more specific. You get it what I mean? Specific competency here refer to the student will use what you transfer your content to them. So this is we call specific competency. In contrast, if the student cannot use your content in the end of your lesson, so it means that it is not a specific competency. You get it what I mean? You get it what I mean, everyone?
Yeah, teacher.
Okay. And one more thing, performance oriented. When we talk about performance oriented, you assess your student ability by assigning any test or any exercise to them. If they can do it, so maybe your explanation, your content, what you give them, mean it's powerful for them. Okay. And one more thing, integration of skill. When we talk about integration of skill, we refer to the 4 macro skills: speaking, listening, reading, and writing. So when we assign all those things to the student, so which skill that the student can use more. Okay, sometimes it is not balanced between 4 macro skill of this point. The student, they prefer any skill what they like. Sometimes they don't like speaking, sometimes they don't like listening, but they like reading and writing. Okay, and the last point, this is we focus on individual learning. When we talk about individual learning, we get students to improve their own in order to achieve any competency or capacity from the learning. Mean they have to improve by themselves. They have to learn. They have to search. They have to do any exercise what the teacher assigned for them, or sometimes they can search by themselves. Okay, so these are the key feature of CBLT. Any question, please?
Teacher,
Yeah.
what if the student cannot identify what they have accomplished តកតងជាមួយនឹង feature individual learning
Mm-hmm.
ឧទាហរណ៍ថាគ្រូបរៀនអីមួយហើយតែដល់ពេលហើយឲ្យកូនសិស្សទៅធ្វើ output ឲ្យគាត់ថារៀនបានអីខ្លះអីចឹងណា
And then a
ដល់ពេល
reflection.
ហ្នឹងហើយកូនសិស្សហើយចុះកូនសិស្សអត់ដឹងថាចេះអីទៅធ្វើម៉េច
Before you assign to your student, you assign any project or any test for them to do at their home. So you have to assess his or her ability in the real class. If you assess that they cannot catch up anything, you should assign for them with a simple exercise to them. Very simple. Not use any technical word or technical exercise to them. For example, you teach about present simple. You tell them a form. The student cannot catch up the form. You have to find any techniques for them, how to remember, how to use the present form in the positive sentence. You give the simple exercise or simple example around them. For example, the student cannot remember the form, the positive form of present simple. Like you can give in command ខ្ញុំទៅសាលារៀនខ្ញុំអង់គ្លេសថាម៉េចកូនខ្ញុំកូនសិស្សវាថា I teacher I ចុះទៅថាម៉េច go ចុះសាលា
school
ចឹងកូនសិស្សថាម៉េចចឹងកូននិយាយប្រយោគនឹងពេញវិញមកឥឡូវ teacher ប្រាប់កូនសិស្សនិយាយថា I go school ដល់ពេលដែលកូននិយាយពាក្យថា I go school ហ្នឹងទៅអត់ប្រយោគហ្នឹងឃើញទេមានន័យថាយើងបញ្យល់គាត់ជាលក្ខណៈ very very simple way by elicit any languages with the simple ways or simple process to them. If they still cannot catch up with your explanation, you have to try your best to explain more, or you have to find any technique how to explain them with very very simple. You get it? So hey?
Yeah, teacher. Yeah, what you said, yes, that true, that right. But I believe that everybody, for those who work as a teacher, you might find out difficult doing the task. Like for example, the student that have different levels, you want them to achieve as other student want as well. However, they need a lot of support. So you need to really find way like even the task you need to differentiate it, like make it a little bit lower than the other as well. But my question is like, but if the student that they are really like behind or like really low for that knowledge, how are you going to like how long will it take them to achieve just like the other while you have like limit time, something like that? It's very hard for the teachers. I believe that all the teachers used to face that problem.
Depend on my experience, I used to challenge, I used to have with this point as well for those students who are very low ability in a real class. But my method or my techniques I use in two options. The first option is during the class performance. During the class performance, I also assign them to work in group or in peer group. Sometimes the student they cannot catch up the teacher explanation. But when their classmates, they can explain together by face to face. So for those students who low ability, so they can get anything from their classmates. So this is my experience during the class. And whenever they just leave the class or the school, the teacher have to assign more exercise to them. Whenever you assign any exercise to them, you just give them very simple exercise, more than the medium or the high ability of the student. They have to give more exercise to those students who are low ability in the class. Okay, you have to assign any homework, you have to assign any reading, depend on their ability or capacity. You get this? Okay.
Yeah. Thank you for your sharing experience. But for me, as teaching in grade 2, then whenever like we give homework or some enhancements activity for them, they can do it at home because the other teachers they have the tutors to teach them. But they are in the real performance, they don't really, they don't really get it. And as well as like for me, because like they are young learner, with peers, sometimes it's a little bit challenge for them because they are just in grade 2.
Okay, thank you, Subhain. What you assign any exercise or any group discussion, you have to think that what you assign any exercise, it is suitable for them to do or not. For example, if your lesson related to the English alphabet, if you assign them to make the sentence of the present simple, I think it is the constructive ability of the student. Okay, and it is not suitable for the student ability to make any sentences. You assign any exercise or any group work that is suitable to the student ability in the physical class. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, any concern? No? And how about the others? Any concern more? I think maybe I stop for this point and we will continue our in afternoon lecture. We will move to the next number 5. This one is maybe I have to explain you in the afternoon section.